Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you after Game 3, the deciding game of this Subway Series, and that's why you don't ever give up on a baseball game. You can't run out the clock, and you just never know. And this is one that, hey, as unexpected as it would be, when that game's 5-1, you're not thinking about the Yankees having any trouble in this game. Okay, the Mets have made a mess of the game. The manager didn't do a good job. The defense was awful. Peralta's walking guys. They're making tons of mistakes. I mean, we can go through all that. And then the Mets started chipping away. Don't overlook that two-run double that Torrance got that made the game 5-3. That was big. I know the game got to 6-3, but that was big. It was really big, because once you can get it inside 4 runs in baseball, you can win it, you could tie it with 1 swing, and that's where you were in that game, and as unlikely as it was to have a ninth inning, and when you put that in perspective, when you look at what has gone on for the Mets, well, if you look at how this season has unfolded, and then Friday night with the devastating news, the loss and the devastating news about Holmes, and all the major injuries, and you're saying, "What can you do with this year?" And then they win yesterday, and then have as big a comeback win as they have had in years. I mean, think about it. The Mets were 0-91 when trailing after the 8th inning. 0-91 dating back to 2024. And they come from 3 runs down on 1 swing on a guy you would not think, although he hit the ball hard and the Yankees had, made him, pay for having hit a couple of balls on the screws. The bottom line was, you're not thinking there's a chance he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. You got Soto up in the spot and you're thinking maybe you're gonna get some magic. You don't get it from Soto. Finally got a base hit from Bichette, which was, right now, the way things have gone, is almost a miracle. But, Soto doesn't come through. He bounces into the fielder's choice. You think maybe Vientos comes up and he's swinging from the dugout. He doesn't even, I mean, he was, listen, I back Vientos, but that was a nightmarish appearance. He's swinging at pitches that were a foot and a half out of the strike zone. He's swinging at pitches that are a foot over his head. I mean, he swung at 3 pitches, none of them were in the strike zone. I mean, it was just awful, trying to hit the, tie the game up. I understand he's trying to hit a home run, but, wait and get a pitch to hit. Well, Bednar starts Taylor off with a bad, bad breaking ball, and there's nothing that's gonna travel farther than a bad hanging slider, and that's exactly what that was, and he hit it a long way to tie the game, and then the Mets get out of the jam in the 10th. How about that? I mean, Vientos starting a 3.63. You know how bad it's been for Wells, and you're figuring that Williams is gonna collapse in that spot, at least I was, after he walked Volpe, and instead you get the 3.63, a snappy 3.63 from Vientos of all people, who did a nice job on that 3.63. They get out of the inning without a run scored, and now, after giving up the McMahon steal, which was awful, giving the Yankees a great chance to get the, game back in their favor, and then the kid puts the bunt down. He's done everything that they've asked him to do all week. They've gotten a huge lift from Ewing, a huge lift from Benj this week, and they go 5-1. They've come from behind game after game, and then the coup de grace is tonight. Is this afternoon. 5-1 down, 6-3 down to the closer, 2 out, ninth inning, tie the game up, win it in extras. I'm not saying this is gonna launch this Met team because the Met team has a lot of issues as they hit the road to play the Nationals and the Marlins this week. The Yankees will be home off this 2-7 slide. Listen, the Yankees have a couple of issues to deal with. They have to prove they can win close games. They're 0-3 in extra inning games. The bottom of their lineup can be woefully anemic, and that's why I thought that Mendy did a bad job unleashing the right-handed hitters when he did. Um, let McMahon now McMahon stayed in the game there, but don't unleash all because those right-handed hitters can hit, and as they proved there, to take the lead off some bad defense, from the Mets there. The walks killed the Mets all day, 9 walks, but they overcome that. But to have the resiliency that they did to win the back 2 games of this series, to come back today, ninth inning, okay, Ben's gets a base hit. You're starting to think, "All right, set the table." Bichette gets a base hit. Now you're thinking, Soto can come up and have his magical moment here. Instead, he hits a fielder's choice. Didn't have a big game today. Had a single in the first inning. That was it. Bichette continues to struggle mightily. But then you get the unlikely home run from a very popular player on that team, and the Mets go on to get a really, really incredible, almost storybook win to close the homestand. If they're heading as they head on the road this week, they're thinking, "Hey, we can get back into this thing. We can do this." They're starting to believe in themselves, and why not? That's what you're supposed to do. But they have a lot of issues to deal with and a lot of injuries to deal with. But give them credit for this week, for what they did against the Tigers, what they did in the back 2 games against the Yankees, and what they did today to have that moment where they have not come from behind after 8 innings forever, and then to do it 3 runs down, no less, not a rundown, not 2 runs down, 3 runs down with 2 out in the ninth inning, and you get the game into extras off the 3-run jack and win the game with execution in the bottom of the 10th and go on to a 7-6 win the series. You know, really more than that, this did so much, I'm sure, for that room, for that team, the way it feels right now, what the young kids are sprinkling into that clubhouse, what's going on right now, at least gives them some life. They've looked dead so many times in the last 3 weeks that to have the week they've had. And the Tigers came in, I mean, limping, worse than limping, crawling, and the Mets took advantage of it, coming from behind on multiple occasions throughout those 3 games. And then to have the injury to Holmes, which Mendy told you devastated the team like nothing else this year, and to finish that off with this win today, hey, this is, to me, highly unexpected. It's also something that I'm sure they're just absolutely giddy about, and they should be. On the other side, it's a I'm not panicking, and nor should anybody. I understand 10 days ago you were, getting ready to think about, I'm going to ice my October plans here because the way the Yankees have been playing. The Yankees are the best team, and you heard the Yankees are better than the Dodgers. Yankees are the best team in baseball. Yankees are this, the Yankees that, and now they have question marks in the rotation with the injuries. Now they have the bottom of the lineup, which continues to struggle in a big way. Now they have some questions to answer and some injuries, no Stanton, no Dominguez, missing those guys, obviously, because they give the lineup so much length, especially Stanton. Okay. Missing Stanton not only puts pressure on Chisholm, and Chisholm had a good series, but the bottom line is when you have Chisholm hitting and have Stanton in the lineup, the Yankee lineup is completely elongated to the point where it's just devastating. Right now, it's the top of the order, and yes, they have Bryce having a brilliant year, Judge being Judge. Okay, Bellinger being what you expect from him. Even Grissom, who has not had a good average or a good OPS, but has gotten a lot of big hits. But they've hit a tough spot Would I worry? No. Is this an interesting week this week? Yes, with the Blue Jays coming in for 4 and then the Rays, who have played great, coming in for 3. It's a good week. It's a good challenge. It'll be good for them. The Yankees are right back where they've been in recent years. They are a playoff team. They are a 92 to 95 win team minimum. They are going to the postseason. Have they proved they are better than the teams they will face? No, they haven't. No, they have to prove they can win the games they're supposed to win. They have to prove they can execute when they have to execute. They have to prove that they can get some performance from guys in the bottom of the lineup, like McMahon and like Wells, et cetera, all the way down the line there. Okay, Volpe, I thought, had a good series. He got a lot of walks, hits the ball well today, made some plays at shortstop. I'm sure he's challenged and he wants to try and fight for his job. So, I thought he did some good things. The bottom line is the Yankees have the wherewithal to improve the bullpen when they need to. They have the wherewithal to have enough live arms to overcome guys being on the shelf. It looks like Cole's pretty much maybe one more, and then he's back. Obviously, Freeze out for a while. They'll have to overcome that. They have young pitchers. They have some very, very talented young starters. I'm not worried about them in the regular season. But if you were a couple of weeks ago and you were already thinking, "This is their year," well, now you can back off that a little bit and let them show you that they can do the things that they haven't proved they can do in recent years. Beat the good teams, win the close games, execute when they need to execute. And today, another of those examples. This is a game, let's be honest. Not only is it the Subway Series, but this is a game you can't lose. You're up 5-1. The other team's giving you gifts, including a ton of walks. You are 1 out away with a 3-run lead. You can't lose those games. Those are gut punches, losing those games. Those are games there's just no way you can lose them. So from a Yankee standpoint, this is a devastating loss today. Will it, linger? No, I don't think so. Am I worried? No. Do they have some things to fix? Yes. Does this give the Mets a reason to believe? Yeah, it does. Does it mean they're gonna make a big run at the Atlanta Braves, who already have an, incredible start, have already won over 30 games, are already off to really a tremendous, tremendous start, you know? I mean, Atlanta's 32 and 15. The Mets are still 11 games behind them. A long way to go. Long, long way to go, but you know what? They've taken a step in the right direction. They've gotten a big lift from the kids. They had to do something, and the kids were the answer right now. They still need a big bat. They can't get by with the guys they have in this lineup. This lineup needs a professional RBI guy. It also needs Bichette to find out what the heck is going on in his life. I don't know. We've seen this a million times, but this is bad now. He's almost into that danger zone where they're going to boo him out of town if it continues. The hit in the ninth inning was a step in the right direction, but, dropping the fly ball was not. And going 2 for 35 or 2 for 37, whatever the heck he was. I mean, this is a guy who, hits 330 for his career with men in scoring position. He's batting 2 for 37 here. I mean, it's ridiculous. Not driving the ball anywhere and looking awful at the plate, looking puzzled at the plate. This is a professional player. This is a good baseball player. Now, you can go back to the days of, Carlos Baerga and Juan Samuel and scratch your head and wonder if he's going to be, laying on the wasteland that they created. I don't know that, but boy, it is puzzling. It really is. In a big way, it is puzzling how bad he's been this year. But they have gotten a big lift from the kids, especially Ewan. Uh, they got a big effort out of the bullpen last night. Tonight, Williams got out of the jam, so give him credit for that. I can't knock him. You got to give him credit for that. And Viento's pulling that 3-6-3. I mean, Wells has been in a nightmare situation. He really has. Wells and McMahon, they just can't buy a hit. I mean, they really can't. Devastating loss for the Yankees, absolutely. One that's going to stick for a couple of days if they don't get a couple of, if they turn around and beat the Blue Jays the next 2 nights, it'll be forgotten. If they don't, it's going to linger. It'll linger. It's going to linger. It's going to linger. It's a rough loss. Losing the last 2 games of the series, losing the series, and then losing with a 3-run lead, and you closer on the mound and get beat by a guy who's 6 for 42 against right-handed pitching this year. I mean, that's crazy stuff. So unlikely, crazy, can't make it up, can't script it. No one would believe it kind of win for the Mets, and a real shot to the solar plexus for the Yankees. And that's why, that's why the Subway Series is fun. I mean, that's why just the reaction, just the comeback, just what the overwhelming joy in the stadium at the end of the game. It's what makes this special. You get full houses, you had nice weather, brother versus brother, family member versus family member, just friend versus friend. It's just good for baseball. It's good for the city. It's good for baseball. Now baseball can obviously take a deep breath, and everyone can worry about the Knicks. They can worry about the Knicks' opponent this evening. They can worry about where the Knicks are going to start on Tuesday, and they can worry about the Knicks getting to the final against either a very dangerous San Antonio team or a team looking for some immortality in OKC. That's what lays ahead. So it's going to be a very, very interesting couple of weeks, a fun time. Yankees come home to get tested against the Blue Jays and the Rays. The Mets go to see the Nationals and the Marlins, and they're not going to leave a plane to get to the nation's capital because they are flying high off just an improbable, incredible come-from-behind win with 2 out in the 9th inning, down 3 runs. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. But that's what it's about. Now, if you're looking for a betting angle, check out the Top Picks news feed in your BetRivers app. The BetRivers Banter news feed is filled with picks from BetRivers network personalities and more handicappers to give you expert insights. Tap the Top Picks icon in your BetRivers app to get the latest tips. So check it out and then make your own decisions. That's the fun part. That's what makes it fun. So an interesting couple of days with the Yankees and the Mets? Absolutely. A interesting 2 out of 3? Yes. Is it something that the Mets can build on? We'll see. We'll see. They still got a lot of people on the shelves and a lot of questions to answer. But you couldn't have given them better medicine. You couldn't have given them something that would energize them more than this win will energize them as they hit the road. I mean, this win is going to be as energizing and as uplifting as anything that could have happened to this team, possibly. What a great, great, dramatic come from behind win for the Mets. Couldn't be any better for you Met fans. And a tough one for the Yankees, no question. But you'll survive it. You got bigger fish to fry. But for the Mets, a big one. A really big one. We got a busy week with the Knicks. We'll see you soon.